Hey everybody, it's Jason with Parallel Reality coming back with you today with an article from Outkick dated August 19th, and it's, again, another clowning on the media, but also showing you how bad the media actually is. And this one is called, Reid claims white men are too mediocre to create things. It says, according to former MSNBC host Reid, white men are incapable of inventing anything, and that's why she is a former host. And I said before on videos that Reid was one of the most racist individuals on television, and she just somehow gets a pass because she is not a white person. If she was a white person saying that about any race, she would be shunned from polite society, but remember, it's fashionable to say that about white people, even though her claim is completely 100% wrong, and again, 100% totally racist. So, getting into it. It says, according to former MSNBC host Reid, white men are incapable of inventing anything. Never mind all the stuff that white people have actually invented that she's using at that exact moment, as a matter of fact. But anyway, it says, in her latest podcast episode, aptly titled, How Mediocre White Men and Their Fragility Are Destroying America, Reid and guest Wajahat Ali accused white men of stealing creations from black and brown people. Now, if you don't know who Wajahat Ali is, he worked for the Daily Beast. He's a far-left dude. He's like Reid. His opinions about things are the same as Reid. Communists are going to communist. They're going to be the same. He is an actual retard. Okay, so there's another person where you can just disregard their opinion about anything because he's an idiot. Wajahat Ali said this. He said, these white men cannot create culture on their own. Again, if you're saying that, you're stupid. Okay? Because without black people, brown people, the DEIs, there's no culture in America. False. It says, we make the food better. We make the economy better. We make the music better, right? MAGA can't create culture. They got Cracker Barrel and Kid Rock. Well, that's culture, guys. Hate to break it to you. And not that I eat a Cracker Barrel. I know all the stuff going on right now with their stupid changing of their logo, which went to just this very plain logo from something that actually might have stand out. And what's wrong with Kid Rock? I mean, I don't listen to Kid Rock, but what's wrong with him just because he's a Republican? So it says, that sounds kind of racist, no? It says, not to Reid, who added the following. It says, they don't have the intellectual rigor to actually argue or debate with us, right? And what they do is they tattle and tell. They run and tell teacher that the black lady or the brown man was mean to me, and that's what they always do. So Reid doesn't seem like she's ever actually met a white person in her life. Okay, she is, imagine if somebody that was white said this about a minority. People would be up in arms, rightfully so, about that. But Joy Reid gets a pass on it, and no one on her side calls it out and says, this is why you don't have a job at MSNBC anymore, because they got sick of your shit. It says they can't fix the history they did. Their ancestors made this country into a slave. Joy, I hate to break it to you, but first of all, your family had nothing to do with it. You're first generation American. Okay, slavery ended 160 years ago. Okay, so screw off about that. So she continued on by saying a slave hell, but they can clean it up now because they got the Smithsonian. Yeah, the Smithsonian, who Trump is trying to clean up because it's all, the Smithsonian's all turned into white man's problem. And again, this finished 160 years ago. Like, we get it was bad. Our reparations were 650,000 dead Americans. Okay? So I think we're done with that. So they can get rid of all the slavery stuff. They got PragerU that can lie about the history to the children. And Joy, I want you to tell me, what did PragerU lie about? I've watched quite a number of PragerU videos. Haven't seen a lie yet myself. Okay? And if they lied about something, I wouldn't be following them because I don't like that. But remember, this is what leftists do. They just like to say misinformation and disinformation. They don't tell you what, though. They just say it's there. So that's what she's doing here. It's a little tactic to say, PragerU lies. Now, if you're to tell her, well, what did they lie about? I guarantee you she would not be able to come up with a single thing. Continuing on with her stupid quote, says they can't originally invent anything more than they ever were able to invent good music. Says, we black folks gave you all country music, hip-hop, R&B, jazz, rock and roll. That's not entirely true if you know anything about some of the genres there. So just sit back. Says they couldn't even invent that, but they have to call a white man the king. So she's talking about Elvis, because they couldn't make rock and roll, so they have to stamp the king on a man whose main song was stolen from an overweight black woman. And that is actually not correct. Elvis, if you know anything about Elvis, he always gave credit to the black people that he was doing songs from or with. And the lady, I've read somewhere that the lady who recorded, I don't remember her name, and I apologize for that, but she did get kind of screwed, and it had nothing to do with Elvis, and I'm talking about in terms of like money made from a particular song or whatever song it was, but he did credit her. So Sorry, Joy, your narrative's gone. Says Reid was referring to Elvis, as we said. Says, look, we aren't sure we need to get into a discussion about which race created what, and we don't, okay? Just love what you have. Says, however, just for context, who are a few things that white men did, in fact, invent? So Joy Reid, remember, she said white men didn't invent anything, so here's some things that Joy Reid may think are cool that white men did. Electricity, airplanes, automobiles, penicillin, atomic bombs. Probably could have left that one off the list. It says plumbing, the B-2 stealth bomber, the F-22 Raptor, blue jeans, and Facebook. So, and then this is the author of the article here. And by the way, this is Wajahat Ali, this toolbox right there. So it says, by the way, how disgustingly racist is Joy Reid? Sorry about that. I had kind of a, I'm sorry, I had a hiccup, but I thought David Hookstead was the writer of the article. It's not. I can see Bobby Burak's name down there. But again, going back to that, it says, how disgustingly racist is Joy Reid? And the answer to that is extraordinarily. It says, this isn't a person who pretends to call out racism with actual racist remarks. She wears her disdain for white people as a badge of honor. She puts Jamel Hill to shame. Correct. Jamel Hill is awful too, but Joy Reid, when she was on the air, I always used to say, this is after Tiffany Cross got let go of MSNBC for actual racist stuff, that I said Joy Reid and Sonny Hostin were in a run-and-gun battle for who the most racist person on television was. And, well, Sonny Hostin's the only one that's still on TV, so I think we know who the winner is. It says, Reid's hatred is so apparent that even MSNBC, or MS Now, considered her too radical, hence her firing earlier this year. It says, perhaps her referring to white people as mayonnaise sandwiches set off an alarm. It says, it was either that or pushing the debunked conspiracy that Donald Trump staged the first assassination attempt on his life in Butler, Pennsylvania. It says, finally, we can't help but chuckle that Reid is now a content creator on Substack, a platform created by Chris Best, a white man. And she's using podcast technology that was probably invented by a white man. But, again, who cares? I mean, she's obviously doing this for just... Here, let's just leave it on her here. She's obviously someone who is extremely bigoted, and she's wrong about everything she says. And she should be called out on it as much as humanly possible. So I just wanted to jump into the fray here as well. So let me know what you think about this in the comments below. Please like, share, and subscribe, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.